Okay, this problem number 7 we're going to be able to solve without the use of a calculator. What we always want to try and do here is we always want to try and get the same trig function, the same angle. So right now I have a little bit of a problem because I have the sine of 2x and I've got the sine of x, and then I also have this cosine of x. I've got two terms. I've got this term right here and I've got this term right here. Now it would be great if I could factor out a sine of x. However, the sine of 2x does not have the same angle, so it's not the same. It's two totally different things. So I'm going to take this sine of 2x, and I know my double angle formula, 2 sine of x cosine of x. I'm going to replace that, right? And then I still have this cosine of x minus sine of x. Now I still have two terms. This time, they both have a sine of x in common with one another. So I'm going to factor that greatest common factor out. And that's going to give us 2 times cosine, which is cosine squared of x, minus 1. So I just factored out the greatest common factor. Now I'm going to use the zero product property because my product on the left-hand side is equal to 0. I can take the sine of x and I can take 2 cosine squared of x minus 1, set them both equal to 0, and solve. So sine of x equals 0, and then 2 cosine squared of x minus 1 equals 0. Where does the sine of x equal 0? Well, that's when the y value is 0, which happens on the x-axis. So my angle would be 0 radians and pi radians, 0 and pi. Here, cosine squared of x equals 1 over 2. Square root both sides, and I get plus or minus when I square root both sides. The square root of 1 is 1, and the square root of 2 is the square root of 2. Well, that's my pi over 4 angles. So I've got 1 over the square root of 2 for the x value of my ordered pair, because the cosine of an angle is equal to the x value on the unit circle. And that's going to happen, the plus or minus is going to happen at all of them. So it's going to happen in quadrant 1, 2, 3, and 4. So x can equal pi over 4, 3 pi over 4, 5 pi over 4, and 7 pi over 4. So that plus or minus, super important. And we get all of, actually, look at what I'm going to do here. I'm going to take this, move it down here, and I'll just put a colon right there and there. We box it all together because there are 6 answers. 0, pi, pi over 4, 3 pi over 4, 5 pi over 4, and 7 pi over 4.